You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a McChicken is $1.50. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken. And now that McChicken is just $1.50 with McValue.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest.
This is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast, powered by WarhawkReport.com.
With hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian. More important than baseball. Sorry, Ford. What on earth did I just walk into? I think I'm doing this right, but he's yelling at me, so I'm not. And so,
what are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
So was that actually y'all's idea? That's awesome.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, 2 months away from hearing the ringing of cowbells.
And if it wasn't for the World Cup right now, Tibbs, I just think I'd be in such a bad spot in life.
Why? There's baseball.
Is that still really going on? I thought baseball was done, or it's just college baseball's done.
College baseball's done.
How long do they play?
Depending on if you follow them from spring training, it's March through November-ish.
Oh my gosh. We're halfway through their season? That's awful.
It's almost all-star break.
That's awful. I actually did go to a Rangers game the other day. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. And I just, again, it was just miserable. It was just not a fun time. And there was the food is really great at the new Ranger Stadium. But other than that, I think they played the
all-you-can-eat seats.
No, I went with work, and we got some, we carried tissues with us up there. Yeah. But really easy. They got escalators everywhere, so really easy to get around too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do anything fun for America's 250th birthday?
Happy birthday. No, I think I'm getting old because I think we were trying to go to bed about 10 o'clock. And then I felt myself just really getting agitated at the fireworks, which is stupid to do on July 4th. Really getting agitated at the fireworks because my dog was going nuts. So maybe you relate with that. Maybe you don't. I hope you did something. I hope you were in water somewhere.
Only when I was in the shower. But no, I did nothing as well.
Mm. Maybe we're both getting old. God, you're rubbing off on me, bro. We gotta. This is not great.
We're a week, though, from reliving the glory days of getting to go to New Orleans for Sunbelt Conference Media Day. I know you will not be there, afraid of the smells and the funk that are on Bourbon Street.
Yeah. I love New Orleans, but I'm sure it gets a little weird when you get a bunch of Sunbelt media guys in one area.
Oh, it's always a fun time. I mean, sitting down and just hearing Jay Walker talk and tell stories it's very much a gather around, kids. Grandpa's going to tell us a story.
I hate that he was so nice in person. I just didn't really want to like him, but he was so great.
He's amazing.
A hospitable guy. Yeah.
So amazing.
Gosh.
I mean, I think we can all agree, though, that James Madison will be the front runner to win the league, to win the East. The West, I think it's kind of Troy's to lose. And then really it kind of gets murky from there on out. I think there's two teams that, as we were talking about beforehand, coming out of Warhawk Report, the preview of the Sun Belt, I think there's only two teams that are really kind of the wait till next year type of team. That, of course, being the boys in Atlanta, which we need to get them back on because I definitely think you enjoyed talking to the state of Atlanta guys.
They were fun. Absolutely.
And then, of course, our Warhawks, Chase.
Do you think, if we break that down, it's odd to say that a team with a third-year returning quarterback would be a next year team. You know what I mean? Like usually when you have that much consistency at quarterback, just in the player, you would feel like you'd be at least contending in the Sun Belt. Or that's my opinion. You see it in Troy, right? But what do you need to see early on from ULM to feel good about the rest of the season? What do you see at UAB? You're not going to see much at Mississippi State. What do you need to see at UAB?
Well, and I think you could see some stuff at Mississippi State. I think you could see some effective ball movement, maybe a little bit of a run game, maybe a little bit of a pass game. Is it going to be just the dominating performance against the SEC team? Even if they are one of the bottom teams of the SEC, no, it's not going to be a dominating performance. It's going to be, like I think we've said before, a live scrimmage. But I think you just got to kind of see that fight, right? Or have we already skipped week 1 to go to week 2, or are we out there actually working on some technique, working on some different schemes, trying to use it as another week of practice to get ready for those games? And I know that the great Hal Raiser himself, Jeremy Harper, is going to say that's FCS mentality. You can't say that. And I don't think it's FCS mentality. I think it's just the way the game goes. And at the end of the day, if we're talking in November, Chase, we're 1-11, but I'll be damned if we didn't beat Mississippi State. Are we really beating our chest that we're 1-11 having beat Mississippi State?
Shit, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we beat an SEC school, absolutely. Yeah, the rest of the season go to garbage. But I get your sentiment of like, and I agree. I think we're going to see a new offense, obviously with Jesse Montalto, the new offense coordinator. Really excited about that. I'm interested to see, did they get, we have a few pieces returning, really lost a lot of depth on the O-line, but we really don't know that, right? Because we don't know what these JUCO guys can come in and do. Is it a better fit to our current players of a more spread out, more, pass heavy, hurry up, tempo offense, whatever Jesse kind of alluded to doing? Or are we truly, what you're saying, going to have to wait another year and now we've got to recruit guys to this offense? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel like the athletes we currently have could fit the style that we're moving towards?
Without a doubt. And to that point, focus on Mississippi State. You look at when the great Pirate, RIP, he was there, it was straight air raid. It was all about how quick, how fast could that offense be? And then you had to all of a sudden flip the entire roster of a portal age of a coach opening that obviously you didn't want to have happen. And so it just takes some time to build that personnel that fits the offense. And so I think that's kind of what we're seeing. But I think that we have enough athleticism at the different positions that it won't be as big of a or as drastic of a change as what you're kind of alluding to. I think that we'll be okay. I think that with 27 new guys coming in, a third-year quarterback that we saw do really well for the last half of the season last year.
Sure.
Have we done enough to get back to those 4 wins that we saw 2 years ago, or 5 wins rather 2 years ago? Have we done enough to really get those extra wins on the season?
I don't know. I think I can see why, why everybody's going to put us towards the bottom, why we're set at 3.5 wins. I think that we just have so many question marks at running back, right? We've had great running backs over the years, and I know we've got one returning, but his name eludes me right now. But beyond that, you had a solid offensive line with a lot of experience, a lot of leadership in that room. You saw it on the sidelines, and you saw that produce on the field most of the time. And you lose those guys, and that line room was really, really a run style offensive line room. Okay, they had better. You want to talk about, like, put it into stats? They had better stats run blocking than they did pass blocking, and so you basically have to replace 4 of them, right? 4 of the 5, and then so you've got some question marks there. Maybe they did recruit a pass blocking style offensive line to this team, or maybe they went balanced, and that's what we want to run. I was really critical 2 years ago of our receiving room. Last year got a little better. I think you saw Nick Trujillo really can be a guy and can be a good guy and a good player. But I think I have the age old. I got two questions for this team. Can we defend a pass? And now I will throw the caveat: Troy Reffitt with the reins. Tibbs, you got to think about this. Now we are a complete new offense and a complete new defense. Troy Reffitt runs a wild defense that I think if you like X's and O's, watch Troy's defense. It is a blast to watch. It is terrifying to prepare for. He has 30 different blitzes. He'll drop the freaking nose tackle when you get in the red zone. I shouldn't say this too loud, but when you get in the red zone, he could drop that freaking nose tackle into coverage. I've seen him do it. But again, my question marks are, can we cover the pass? Do we have a defense to cover the pass? And do we have a kicker this year? That's my.
Oh, we have kickers.
Okay,
we have
good.
kickers.
I put 4 of them on scholarship at this point. I don't care. Just have just wild amounts of depth at kicker.
So, playing a little devil advocate there, you talk about the question marks on offense. Do we have the personnel on defense to run that defense, or do we have to sell that? Wait till next year as we try to get the personnel to run it.
I think you've got some guys on defense. I think you've got some. You're good at safety. I think you're decent at linebacker. I've heard that they improved D-line a lot, and it's just a different base set. So what Troy's defense requires is very fast corners, very physical safeties, because the second level at his defense isn't just linebackers, because sometimes you'll have that safety play down what some people know as a hawk or a raven, depending on the terminology of what defense you have. And because he plays it like it's called a 3-3 stack. It's really a 3-3-5. And so you've got a guy that sometimes will rush the passer. For us, it was Mitch Lane, very good ball player. But he was big enough and fast enough that he could play a linebacker, run support role, drop down into coverage and safety, into zone coverage mainly. And sometimes they'd run him up and they'll run their linebackers and safeties up to rush the passer. So to say, I can't tell you yet because I don't know who that is for us. And I don't know how fast we are at corner. That's a big question mark.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a McChicken is $1.50. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken. And now that McChicken is just $1.50 with McValue.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
I don't know how fast we are or big we are at linebacker. If you recall, that was 2015 where Hunter Kissinger led all of FBS in tackles. It's that funnel style. That defense will funnel opponents to the middle of it. So I don't know. When you think of defense, you've got to have a stud playing nose tackle. We had Jaron Johnson, who was a stud, and you've got to have that guy that can fill that gap no matter what. And I really think that it'll be fun. But I agree that I really have to see a lot from against Mississippi State, because it can cause problems for anybody, especially those schools that may not prepare as much, and Mississippi State doesn't have the advantage of preparing with film on them. So I don't know, Tibbs. That's a tough question to ask because we're just so early. I think we're going to learn so much at Mississippi State.
Getting back to the league, several teams that I have contenders: ODU, Georgia Southern, App State, and the mighty D-Lo, and Louisiana Tech. And the
contenders. Tech
contenders. Here's why I think if you think back, Chase, to your favorite place of Statesboro, Georgia.
I do like Statesboro. I just got kicked out.
when Georgia Southern came to the league, I'm not discounting any of the talent they had, but they were the new kid on the block. You didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what the tendencies are. Yeah, the film kind of says, "Oh, this guy's a little fast." You knew they were going to run the ball, but they were kind of the wild card. They were able to come in and really run rampant through the league, and because Tech is that new kid on the block, I could see them potentially doing that. Now, I think that they have a fair share of question marks. I'm not saying that they're going to wind up going 8-0 in conference, but I do think that they have the potential to make some noise in the Sun Belt and in the West.
I think they'll be a competitive team. Okay. I don't think they're going to come in and be awful. I really don't. I mean, I wish they would be, but we all know they're really not going to be. But I will counter argue the Georgia Southern argument. They came up D1 AA to D1. They had a quarterback named Matt Breida who played in the league for 12 years, and they had a kicker of Tyler Bass, and the backup was Younghoe Koo, by the way. Don't forget all that. They had some real studs, and I think, you know, we had Shass on, right, and he was really big on their linebacking core, but I don't know if they have any of those superstars like that. And correct me if I'm wrong, the tight end, shout out from my high school, Eli Finley, seems like he's going to be their go-to receiver. But if you're saying contenders in the sense that they're going to be competitive and it's, you know, they're not just going to get waxed, sure. But I don't know if I'm putting them too far ahead of where ULM's going to be this year.
Speaking of which, you mentioned Shass from a previous episode. I forgot to go back and cut his I Love Monroe.
Oh, darn. You just forgot, huh?
I did. I'm interested to see, probably one of my favorite coaches in the league is Ricky Ronnie there at Old Dominion. I'm interested to see what he can do in the post Colton Joseph era. I think he's probably one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in this league in a long time. Mm-hmm. He's gone, but with Quinn Hinkle coming in, it's almost a 1C. I don't want to say that they were 1A, 1B type of mentality, but 1A, 1C. I think that they can do it. I think that they have more questions on defense, but knowing he's a defensive-minded guy, that defense is going to be up to par. I just don't know if it'll be up to his par and ODU's par.
I just think they have momentum as a program right now, and I know that, like, they just feel like they're on the up, and I don't really know their players, you know, like I might know some of the West, but really, I mean, with a name like Ricky Ronnie, how bad can you be? You know, it's pretty. Sunbelt's got some great names, but okay. You had, who else did you have in your contenders? You had Old Dominion, Tech,
Georgia Southern, and App State.
And App State does it not just feel like they've gotten stagnant? Did they get some recruit I don't know about? I mean, I don't know. I felt like last year what did they win? 6 games?
5 games, and somehow wound up still going to the Birmingham Bowl to play Georgia Southern.
Right. And, you know, it just feels like, I guess I would put App State and Tech on a similar, you know, 5-win type teams. I think Tech's going to struggle, not to continue hammering Tech. I think they might struggle a little bit in a more competitive conference. But I'm really, really, regardless of what happens with the app, and I feel like, you know, obviously they're always kind of got such great tradition there as a program that they're always competitive. But we get the wonderful, wonderful pleasure to go to Boone, North Carolina, November 21st? Is that what it is?
Sounds
November
about
21st, right on the money. Are you headed? Are you going to that game?
I'm hoping to.
I've been told that there's a Mexican spot we have to go, but I will die on a hill that I'm not flying to Boone, North Carolina to go to a Mexican restaurant.
You'd rather go to Cookout?
Absolutely, I would.
Get a tray, quesadillas.
I've never been to Cookout.
Corn pups, mint chocolate chip shake.
You're selling me. You're selling me as we go along here.
Here's the crazy thing about App. Last year, they closed out the season dropping 5 of their last 6 games and still made a bowl game. This year, they only have 5 returners from last season's team. It's a whole new look.
Wow.
And so they could be a contender if those guys hit, which, D'Lo being former NFL guy, I'm sure he knows how to spot the talent to get those guys in the program. Or they could bust. They could all be flops.
Sure.
And then they're right back down there with ULM and Georgia State at the bottom of the league.
True, but why would you put them as contenders then? You just feel like it's tradition of that place, or you trust in the coach, or what?
Trust the coach. Trust the talent there. They did get some good guys out of the portal. I mean, they got a Purdue quarterback there in Malachi Singleton. They got a Charlotte safety of Cary Grant. Great name, I know. And then somebody familiar with the league already, Arkansas State running back Jaquez Cross. They've kind of pieced it together through the portal to make themselves contenders.
Where do you have Arkansas State in all this? Because I really think as you look through this schedule, right? I think South Al and Arkansas State are really going to be some really deciding games for ULM this year.
Southern Miss, South Alabama, Arkansas State, Louisiana Lafayette, all in the dark horses. Could they make some noise or could they not? For Arkansas State, the fact that they lost Jalen Rayner, who was the heart and soul of that offense, and Corey Rucker at the receiving position.
Thank God.
There's a lot of question marks there. And I know that Butch has the financial backing and the backing overall to go out and get the players that he wants and needs to rebuild. But when you have so many different pieces coming together, how many times have we seen the right pieces are there? They just don't make the fine music you expect. They're all just making their own noise.
That's true. Early in Jalen's career. The only thing is they'll just always beat us. You say that they might win 3 or 4 games, but they're going to beat us.
I'm curious to see. We've talked about how BV always has that one game that everyone's just locked in, focused on. And 2 years ago it was UAB. Last year was Arkansas State. Does he kind of take that a step further? Because I think that Louisiana Tech game is his locked-in game for this year that he has to win. But does he do that for a road game as well to really get him locked in and try to get that road win in the league that we really haven't been able to do in a long, long time?
Against Arkansas State. When's the last time we beat Lafayette at home? 2012?
No, it wasn't 12. That was the Hail Mary game where they ran it up.
Oh, that's right. So it was 14. No,
13 was there.
Did we lose to them? I'm trying to think. We lost when we went there in 2014 because we got a fight in the tunnel that they have very terribly designed.
So that means we played there 2 years in a row.
No, we played. 14. We played. There was one time we played. I don't know tips, but anyways. Okay, I'm with you. I don't think that. I think his big game still may be UAB. To be honest, I think he's going to want to. I think he's still got some of that. That little, what they did to him does not go away in one game. You know what I mean? And if he can prove them wrong twice, man, what a big that might be conversation worthy. But for that same argument you have about Arkansas State, when he hasn't beaten Lafayette yet. All right. When's the last time we beat Lafayette in general? 2019, 2018? Did Caleb beat him?
I don't know. I'd have to pull it up. I really don't know the answer to that.
I got to stop asking these questions. They're terrible questions. But I just think there's a couple, we talk about I hear you about he gets pumped for one big game. And it's really, Hammett kind of brought that up and I think explained himself well. But I think there's got to be more. You got to do that with 4 games this year because you're going to have to flip. This schedule is scary, and you're going to have to flip some of these games really, really hard. really, really fast. And you've got to come out the gate on some of these teams, because if you can go through the season, all right, take this, Tibbs. You asked me about 1-11 against Mississippi. Ooh, excuse me. That's dinner. Mississippi State.
By the way, last time Warhawks beat Lafayette, TB's last year.
No, he did not win that game. He got beat by 50.
Sorry, you're right. That is 2022.
It was his second year.
Yeah, the year without Rich Royd.
Yeah, with was that guy at OC? He was good. I think you've really got to. Oh, here's what I was about to ask you. We go 1-11, beat Mississippi State. I'm excited. You're upset. We go 2-10, and we beat Tech and Lafayette. How do you feel about the year?
Sunbelt Conference hasn't lost to an FCS opponent since 2022. I don't want to break that streak.
You're right. Okay, 3-9. Yeah,
hey.
We're gonna beat Southeast. We beat all the Louisiana teams this year.
Whew.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That's a tall task,
isn't that? Though,
if you win those two games, here's the deal: you only won one conference game last year. And so you doubled your win total. You take the wins that you can, but I still Chase 3-9 just isn't cutting it for me. In 4-8, I'm happy because we covered the over under spread there of 3.5. But if we don't have the heartbreak of a missed tackle, a missed PAT, missed field goal, drop, touchdown pass, whatever, of being 5-7, it's not a successful year.
I think I'm with you. I think 5 games. 5 games we gotta grab.
And 6 is right there.
Well, yeah, I hear you. And this isn't the episode where we're going to give predictions or walk through the schedule, but I really think that it's, yeah, I think when we tie this conversation back together to your future content there on warhawkreport.com, that's warhawkreport.com. I think it's fair. I think they're all fair. I think that I might flip some dark horses and contenders, but other than that, I really, I think we need to see some significant leaps from some ULM players for us to be considered a dark horse.
To me, the biggest dark horse in the league, though, Chase, Southern Miss. It's a rebuild with a highly successful coach.
Yep.
A new defensive coordinator. But this team could literally be a 2-win team, or they're going to be getting the big trophy from Commissioner Gill.
Really? You don't see him in between?
I don't see them in between. Blake Anderson is either going to be the Cheerio or the chump.
Yeah. He's either washed or he's making a statement. He's making a comeback, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and that's not a knock on him. I think he just inherited the bare cupboard of everything that was worth taking out of Hattiesburg went to Memphis with the Huff Shuffle, and everyone else graduated or hit the portal. And so he is at a true rebuild. And it kind of goes back to what I said about D'Lo of he's got a hit on everybody. He's another one that has great talent and great scouting capabilities. We saw that at Arkansas State. We saw that to a degree at Utah State as well.
Yeah.
But you just don't know until that first snap is happening.
Still, man, all said, going to be a great year in the Sun Belt. Really excited we get to talk about it every week and get to watch and watch our Warhawks hopefully have a great year in it. But man, I mean, a lot of question marks this year, huh? More than ever, you think, or you think there's been years where you feel like there's bigger question marks? I mean, I guess we have, you got JMU in our conference, so they're always going to be,
It's probably the biggest question mark since 2020. And that was, the COVID year going into it, where you didn't know what to expect. Like, were we going to play one game and that was all that we were going to be able to play? Were we somehow going to wind up playing 16 games because everyone keeps dropping out and we happen to be healthy? You never knew what was really going to happen. And even the infamous Brigham Young at Coastal Carolina game, where they knew they were having a game somewhere east, and so they just started going east until they found the opponent. It really was a time of uncertainty. And I do feel like that to a degree is kind of where we're at going into this season. We don't know really what to expect out of this team.
It's just a shame. I just always, when you say that, it just makes me think like, man, NIL has really screwed up this conference and really hurt us. I mean, really we've stayed competitive, but I wonder how long that happens, man.
It's getting better though. We do have a roster out, by the way. Great release, a lot of double numbers. So I know that Mike Hammett is loving that, as do Don Wheeler and Dr. Rob there that do the stats, because is that number 6 that is the receiver or the defensive back?
In special teams, you can't tell, so you just say the number. Move on.
Exactly.
Hopefully they have numbers. That's a great thing about being on the sideline, Tibbs, that I just say, number 6 is hurt, or I get to walk up to him and see his face. That's the beauty about it, man. Whole radio crew coming back, Tibbs. You gonna join? You gonna sit this year on the sidelines? I heard you were gonna ditch the press box, come hang out with me the whole game.
Not the whole game. I'm too superstitious for all that.
What has your because what you did that in 2012 and we won 6 games?
I don't know. I've just always done it.
Well, it gets lonely down there, man. It really does. Just me and
some of us, the work doesn't stop when the final whistle happens.
I do a podcast with you every game. What do you mean it doesn't stop for me then either?
Very true. Very true. Touche. A lot of local guys, though, Chase, on the roster. A lot of Monroe guys. You know what that means, right? We recruit local. We're going to sell out the stadium.
That means people are going to stop complaining on Facebook. I'm really excited. Yeah, we had 12 West Monroe high school guys on the team I played on. Everybody complained about it. I mean, but I did see that the Neville quarterback committed, right?
Yeah. Parker Robinson
committed.
Big guy. I think he's around 1,500 yards away from being the school's all-time leading passer. Not bad for some guys that have gone through the halls of Neville High there. Absolutely. Second quarterback that we have. Other one being a good old Oklahoma kid that has bounced around in a bunch of high schools, but he is very much a good gunslinging quarterback, a little short on the 6'1" side, so fell to the G6 area. But anxious to see what he does. Been watching some film on him and ready to see what he can do this senior year and try to shine.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them sell out, because all those people watch those kids in high school and they know so much about Yolen's roster that when they're on Facebook talking, that it's just they don't recruit locally.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you got to have the best 11 out there.
And if they're not from the 318, that's okay, guys. That's okay. They're from 214, 504. It happens.
I will say, I mean, if NLU, ULM could have kept a lot of that North Louisiana Twin City talent.
No, hey, there've been some. I mean, obviously there've been gold jacket wearers, right? Out of North Louisiana. I mean, I completely agree. But this is a soapbox. I don't know if I want to get into, but nobody hates Monroe like somebody from Monroe, right? And I think that's changing around the city, and I think that narrative has shifted a lot as you've seen Monroe develop and work really hard to do so. But okay, if that's the trope of the city and the people that are from there, this is somebody that's not from there, transplant, absolutely love it, plan to die there, right? Why are we expecting student athletes to stay there? And to say that they're not recruited is not true. That's just plain not true. Those coaches every Friday night are in the stands at a local game, if they're not somewhere else, right? I mean, there will be a coach from ULM in the stands at a West Monroe High School game, I promise you. Maybe not every single one of them, but at least a few games through the year, I promise you they're watching them. And I think they've had a lot of talent in North Louisiana. And in the past, if you talk about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, those people weren't staying there. And nowadays, if they're getting paid to go to LSU, if they're getting paid to go to, you're not blaming them at all. Now, the kids that go Lafayette, like Hunter Herring did, that hurts. But it's not like they don't have offers from ULM. It's not like they're not being recruited heavy back. But you moved away for college, right?
Yeah, I moved to the Twin Cities.
Exactly. And so it's just a different, it's just a really complicated thing. But to say that they don't recruit North Louisiana, it's just a wild idea to me.
Yeah. I don't see BV going, yeah, that Robinson kid at Neville, screw that guy. We don't want him.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, by the time he finishes his high school career, he's thrown for 5,000 yards. Yeah, we don't want that guy.
You get guys like that. I'm sure they recruited Trey Hawley, right? But not every time does it work out. Not every time does it make sense for the coach or the player. And to think that every single player is going to stay home is asinine.
Darius Dunn, he was sitting in Orlando Early's office, ready to commit. Said, "Coach, I love the program, love you, want to be here. I got to get out of Monroe."
And again, I think that's changing. I think we're getting better, but it's a more complicated issue than just, ULM's not recruiting them.
Tales from the road, Chase. What do you have for us?
Let's see, Tibbs. I had the wonderful pleasure of volunteering this year with the FIFA World Cup. I have finished my shifts and gotten done. Got to meet some really cool people. I was not at the games, unfortunately. But I think the only tales I have are randomly cheering for country I'd never heard of before the World Cup in Cape Verde. They deserve all the praise in the world. And if the Warhawks play with half as much heart as Cape Verde has, we're going to have a great year. That's a really terrible tale from the road. Tell me you have one better.
No, I thought that was great, Chase. Are you going to get the Cape Verde flag and fly it over the soon-to-be-named stadium, Chase?
What if it was Cape Verde Malone Stadium? Would be amazing if just the country decided to buy the naming rights to a small school. Hey, it's who maybe, Tibbs, you could draw parallel storylines to Cape Verde and ULM. And I did all weekend. I thought, man, this is my Warhawks next year. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be David and Goliath, and we're going to take them to the last second in Mississippi State, Stark Vegas.
Here's my comparison World Cup story I have for you. Back in 1996, the Olympic Games were in Atlanta. Different countries picked area universities to have as their training ground.
Okay.
I was living in Auburn at the time. We had the French national soccer team that decided Auburn is men's.
Okay.
Is where they wanted to host their training ground. The problem with that is there was this great new soccer stadium because Auburn had just gotten women's soccer. But due to Title IX, no male could touch the field, thus causing a damn near international incident because the French were not allowed to touch the women's soccer field.
That's awesome.
The only thing better was meeting a French boxer. I wish I could remember his name. He was so excited. I worked at a hotel when I was in high school there. He was so excited that he was going to be a contender for the bronze medal and not the gold. He kind of knew where he was at. I forget what weight level he was, like a fly or something like that. Pretty low level weight. Couple weeks into the Olympics, we're watching boxing there at the restaurant. And it's like, oh, look, there's our guy. First round knockout by a guy from Cuba. I was like, well, there goes the bronze, buddy.
Well, there it goes. Hey, thanks for coming, bud. That's awesome. Very
So I know it's not Olympics yet, but definitely that's my Olympic / World Cup ish type of story.
Very cool. International sports. Very awesome. Very cool.
So much fun, Chase. We'll do it again soon.
See you soon.
So what are you proposing?
It's simple.
Perhaps you should read the instructions first.
If you liked the show, like and subscribe wherever you stream podcast.
Is that good for us or bad for us?
Follow us on X at Warhawk_report. Like us on Facebook at Warhawk Report, and click the subscribe button on YouTube for Fun Belt Podcast.
He's done! Done? It's only been an hour.